Hello and welcome to another episode in my video series Agilato. My name is Ravi Verma and I am the org whisperer at SmoothApps and a Scrum.org professional Scrum trainer. This is part 2 of my video on what is a sprint, why do we need it, and how can a sprint help with risk management in Scrum. In my previous episode, I shared the why behind sprints in Scrum. Why is it that the co-creators of Scrum introduced sprints? And if you haven't seen that video, I recommend that you go watch that first. In this video, I'm going to talk about what is a sprint and how does a sprint help with risk management. So a sprint is a time box of 30 days or less. And inside of this time box, the Scrum team self-organizes to deliver a valuable, done, high quality, potentially shippable increment of software that realizes the sprint goal. The sprint goal is a business problem, a business objective that the Scrum team is trying to solve or achieve through the delivery of their increment. And if there is one purpose of the sprint, it's that every 30 days or less, the Scrum team should deliver a valuable increment that can be used to solve a problem for the company, for the customers, and the stakeholders. Sprints do not change in their time box or duration sprint after sprint. It's a steady heartbeat. Occasionally, based on feedback from the retrospective, if the team decides that they want to go from 4 weeks to 3 weeks or 3 to 2, 2 to 1 or vice versa, very rarely, more the exception than the rule, a team can decide to adapt and to change the duration of the sprint, but then it should stay fixed. So that is a brief overview of what is a sprint. Now let's talk about the how. How does this heartbeat, this event, help in risk management? So different companies have different levels of risk exposure and they have different levels of risk tolerance. Let's talk about risk exposure. Risk exposure is the possibility that the amount of time and money you are investing in delivering some functionality or defect fix, some increment to the market, what is the possibility that what you perceive and think to be valuable may not be valuable, right? To try to quantify the risk exposure, I want you to look back at the last 12 months of all the deliverables you made in your company. Okay, think about everything, every product, every service that you delivered to the market. Now look back and give me your gut feel. What percentage of the value that you delivered to the market achieved your desired outcomes? If you're a for-profit company, your desired outcome might have been, I want to increase the EBITDA by a certain percentage, I want to increase the profit, the revenue, the stock price, customer satisfaction. If you're a non-profit, it may be you want to save certain number of lives, you want to send certain number of kids to college, whatever it is. Usually when you deploy something to the market, it is in service of some outcome or a need. So look back at the last 12 months of all the deliverables that you deployed to the market and compare what outcomes you were hoping to expect or hoping to create and what outcomes actually occurred. And now tell me what was the percentage of times that the actual outcomes were equal to or better than what you expected. Whatever is the number that you have come up with, let's say in your case, maybe it's 30%. 30% of the times you meet your outcomes. 70% of the times you don't, while your risk exposure is 70%. How do you quantify this further? If you know the payroll of your Scrum team or the teams that were involved in delivery of value, now you can say that 70% of the payroll could be possibly going down the drain. 70% of the time that you spend on delivering value could be going down the drain. So this is your risk exposure. You can quantify it in terms of calendar days of possible waste. You can quantify it in terms of amount of payroll or amount of money that is going to go down the drain. And there is maybe an intangible, which is a loss of reputation. When you deliver something that does not meet customer and market in expectations, then there's a damage to your reputation. So this is your risk exposure. Now let's talk about risk tolerance. One of the things that Ken Schwaber taught us was the reason that the co-creators of Scrum chose to not allow sprints to exceed 30 days is because they felt that in today's hyper-competitive economy, most companies cannot afford to lose more than 30 days of time or 30 days of money, of payroll. So they wanted to protect companies who adopt Scrum from getting bad news no more than 30 days, no more than, every 30 days. So they're trying to front load the risk, front load the bad news. If you deliver something to the market, customers love it, it achieves exactly the outcome that you were hoping for or more, awesome. In the next sprint, in future sprints, let's learn from our customers and deliver more features or capabilities that are built upon what they loved. If what is more than likely than not, if what happens is maybe 50 to 70% of the work that you deliver is not what customers were hoping for, that is awesome, because we got the bad news in 30 days or less. Now we can course correct. Now when we are managing the backlog, we can either improve the way in which we are delivering certain capabilities, or we can realize that those capabilities are not really valuable for our customers. So let's stop throwing good money after bad. So in highly uncertain environments, you do not know how the market is going to react. The creators of Scrum believe that there is one and only one source of truth, which is the market. And the way you discover that truth is by deploying to the market and observing how the market reacts, and from a stance of curiosity and humility, learning from that, and then course correcting so you do not throw good money after bad. And the way you get this feedback is the heartbeat of Scrum, which is the sprint. So the co-creators of Scrum wanted you to get this wisdom every 30 days or less, so that you have the choice to course correct and control the risk exposure of the company, and make sure that you do not waste more than 30 days of company time, 30 days of company money, 30 days of reputation, investing energy in delivering something that is not valuable for the market. So that is a little bit about what is a sprint and how does the sprint help with risk management. In brief, the sprint is a container of risk. I hope you found this video useful, and you apply this video to use sprints as a risk management container. Thank you, keep calm, and scrum on.